Woman, Arab filmmaker. It's the title of her book, but also a good way to sum up Heiny Srour's multiple identities. The first Arab woman to present a feature at the Cannes Film Festival in 1974, she's forged a feminist path through the industry with compelling political films like Leila and the Wolves, which has just been re-released 40 years after it was made. Well, Heiny joins us in the studio to tell us more. Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Now, those categories I mentioned from your 1976 book, which is also being republished, Woman, Arab filmmaker, which one do you most identify with today?
Well, I'm the citizen of the human race, first and foremost, and my loyalty is to the oppressed, wherever they are, in Africa, in Vietnam, anywhere, in Palestine, in Lebanon. I think myself as a citizen of the human race. And of course, the women are the most oppressed part of the society, and the children too.
And that hasn't changed too much since you wrote that book, I suppose. Now, I mentioned your film Leila and the Wolves, shot in the early 80s. It presents a new perspective on the historical struggles of the Lebanese and Palestinian people, their struggles with colonialism, with national liberation, and specifically the role of women in that history. Let's take a look at this clip.
كين يا مكين كين في بلد منور بالبردين مغطى بشجر الزيتون كين اسمها بلاد الشيخ واللي من فلسطين ولبنان ويوم من الأيام البعيدة هاجمت علي هدي من يومها والمعارك دايرة هوني فلسطين حلوة وأم
It's a very poetic title, and at the beginning of the film we hear the proverb, we don't blame the wolf, we blame the absent shepherd, a metaphor perhaps for the socio-political situation there. Who's the wolf in that dynamic and who's the shepherd?
Yeah, well, each one of us should be his own or her own shepherd, and use our lucidity to decipher the painful reality. And when each one of us will be a responsible shepherdess or shepherd on herself, then on the national level, we may have a good government who protect the country. And it's not the case today, nor on the individual level. We keep blaming the others instead of looking out at our own mistakes. And we keep projecting our flaws on the government. And it's only when each one of us would be responsible that we're going to have responsible government. Now, the wolves, Red Riding Hood is a universal fairy tale. And in Arabic, it's called Leila and the Wolf. But here I made it Leila and the Wolves. And because Leila is fighting various wolves. One is the colonial version of history, and another is the sexist behavior of the men around her, and first and foremost,
the patriarchy.
Her boyfriend.
Yeah.
And I would like to say that Leila and the Wolves is a bridge of peace in these days of discourse of hatred. Because I was born in a Jewish family which was rather pro-Zionist, not out of choice, I think, but after 1948, the Jews, the creation of the State of Israel, the Jews were discriminated against in the Arab country, and including in Lebanon, where there was state anti-Semitism. But on the whole, Lebanon was more liberal. So I crossed the frontier of my community, and I went and looked at the Palestinian pain. Each one of us have the responsibility to look at the pain of the other.
And like you say, the film brings up these very important socio-political questions of separation, of division and unity. And Leila, the protagonist, revisits the history of the region, takes us on this storytelling odyssey. Many important questions about gender roles, stereotypes, the patriarchy. There's a really striking image from the film with women sat on the beach wearing their burqas. We see this image repeatedly. What does it represent for you?
Well, various people gave it a different explanation. I cannot really say why, but I was trained as a social anthropologist, and Germaine Tillion, in her book Le Harem et les Cousins, translated in English as The Republic of the Cousin, said that in archaeology they found that the veil existed in the Middle East 6,000 years ago. I feel very much the heaviness of feudal structure, of patriarchal structure, which keep hindering women's liberation. And just at the end of the film, just as women want to dip their feet in the water and enjoy life, the macabre, the dance of death, of sectarian violence of all religion in the Middle East start and lock Leila in this circle, and she cannot get out of it. And sectarianism and the use of religion to political end is poisoning all the Middle East, in every state, in Lebanon, in Israel, in Turkey, in Iran, in Syria, everywhere. And this is why the audio leitmotif of Leila and the Wolves, we don't blame the wolf, we blame the absent shepherd. We need each one of us in his community, in his nation, to question the use of religion to political end. And only when each one of us would be responsible enough to defy the dominant ideology, then we can hope to have a long-lasting peace, and not before, I think.
And 40 years after that film was made, it does feel indeed very prophetic. I mentioned that you were the first Arab woman to show a feature at the Cannes Film Festival in the Critics' Week sidebar in 1974. That's when you screened the extraordinary documentary, The Hour of Liberation Has Arrived, dealing with the rebellion in the Dhofar region of Oman against the British-backed Sultan. Let's get a feel for the film.
بدون مؤتمر حمرين الجبهة الشعبية التزمت بحق الامرأة وافتحت للامرأة الحرية الكاملة. لهو الامرأة افتحت لها مدارس. الامرأة تدرس مع الأمية، تدرس التدريب العسكري زي الرجل. أنا من أول ما أعرف إيه حاجة وما أعرف لا أكتب ولا أقرأ. عمري 15 سنة. أنا متزوجة. هو بيديني زوجي إلى معسكر الثورة لأساس أتعلم ولا أفهم حقي. عندما خرجت من المعسكر أريد التحق بجيش تحرير الشعب وأناضل زي الرفاق. مش يمكن أناضل في ظفار وبس، فقدر ما هو في الخليج العربي ككل راح نناضل فيها.
Now, we learn from your documentary just how important women were in that uprising.
Yeah.
How much do you think it was a feminist revolution?
Yeah, I mean, it's the only feminist revolution of the Arab world. All the other, Algeria, Palestine, were heavily dominated by patriarchy, like most of the liberation movement throughout the world. It's no coincidence that the Front of Liberation of the occupied Arabian Gulf was feminist, because their project of society was equalitarian in everything. They wanted also to liberate the children. And there is a long sequence about the liberation of the children, where the children learn democracy and accountability in their school. And the People's Army, barefooted, without grades nor salary, was on the one hand liberating the country, and on the other hand building the country, building the first road, the first water hole, the first pilot farm, the first school. And what's very important for me, teaching the children democracy and self-management. And that's very crucial to bring up, and feminism also. I mean, the front refused the pattern of Algeria and Palestine, where a token woman is become the star. Every 10 years we have a star, and it hides the oppression of most women. The front did exactly the opposite. Massive conscious raising about women's liberation in the rank of the People's Army, in the rank of the militia, at the school of the children. And the front say, we don't wait. Most liberation movement discourse was, when the country will be liberated, automatically women will be liberated. And that's not true. They used women's energy and blood for the men to reach power more quickly and to return them to their former oppression once the country was liberated. The front said the opposite. Here and now we liberate women. Here and now we abolish polygamy. Here and now we prevent the marriage of little girls to old men. Here and now we abolish the dowry, which allowed the father to sell his daughter to an old man or to any man. Here and now we fight excision. Here and now we practice positive discrimination in favor of women. So this revolution was drowned in a genocide, unfortunately. But the film continued to go around the world because the need of democracy, feminism, grassroots feminism, grassroots democracy exist all over the world.
Absolutely. An extraordinary time, like you say, and an extraordinary document that I know was made in extraordinarily challenging conditions for you and the crew. Heiny Srour, thank you so much for joining us today. We're wrapping up the show with another look back at Lebanon's history, thanks to an exhibition at the Arab World Institute here in Paris. They've brought together archive images of sites like the ancient temples of Baalbek, the beach town of Byblos, and the forests of the Chouf, some of them 150 years old. We'll leave you with a preview. Do check in with us next time here on Arts 24. There's more news coming up just after this.